second Breakaway Session in Sa-Dhan National Conference. So this session would be on digital inclusion in microfinance journey, preparing for the next phase in microfinance. I would like to now invite the speakers of this session to kindly come and join us in stage. The moderator of the session is Dr. Abhishek Agrawal, Managing Partner, ACCION. The speakers are Dr. Roy Varghese, CEO, Ashirwad Microfinance, Mr. Rahul Gupta, Director and CEO, Avanti Finance, Mr. Rakesh Dosi, Chief Business Officer, Protean eGovernment Technologies, Ms. Nalini Venkat, Chief Business Officer, Digit Insurance, Mr. Anant Deshpande, Co-Founder and COO, FinBox. I request all the speakers to kindly join us on the dais. So before we go into the session, we have a small presentation. The presentation would be on empowering the last mile by Ms. Gayatri, Senior Solution Consultant, Bhavan Cybertech. Now I request Ms. Gayatri to kindly come over and make a presentation.
Check, check, check. Check, check. Fine. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the post-lunch session, and I'm sure I'll not take more than 7 or 10 minutes to talk about the topic on empowering the last mile. It's not moving. It's not moving. Okay, while the slides are getting loaded, I'll just give. Can you? Yep. So I'll start with a brief introduction. So I'm Gayatri, representing Bhavan Cybertech. So we are the authorized partner for Temenos suite of products. So Temenos and BCT, we have entered into a strategic agreement where we will be able to sell their products across 4 different regions, namely India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bhutan. So just to give a background about Temenos, Temenos is a product company that has been in existence for the past 25 years. They have a suite of products spanning across the core banking, focusing mainly on the core banks, banking operations as such, and also on microfinance institutions, and on AML, risk management, analytics, and digital onboarding. So that's a brief introduction about Temenos. Our partnership with Temenos is, again, it's a global partnership also. So right from selling their license till the implementation and till the maintenance, everything will be taken care by us from BCT. So with this small introduction, I just move into the slides. So financial inclusion, a national priority. All of us know that, getting into the last mile and bringing the people, everybody into the banking umbrella is one of the important agenda in today's government. So with this government, with this initiative, we had the Jan-Dhan account where we were able to open 50 crore plus accounts, and then we have the JAM treaty. And through the JAM treaty, we were able to ensure that everybody, all the funds, all the payments and receipts are happening digitally, so that avoids a lot of revenue leakages. And then with this, we also have the other digital financial services. And in this space is where our role as MFIs and NBFCs, we have a greater role to play. And in this scenario, we have our own product, which is called the Temenos Financial Inclusion. So this product is a highly flexible and rich in functionality product which is pre-integrated with across all the, it is integrated with digital, it is the, when I say digital, the loan origination system, the assisted journey, and then the loan management system with the proper accounting and everything. And ours is one of the oldest product, I would say. Temenos had launched this product 30 years ago, understanding the importance of the business, the microfinance business. So if we see, as part of our product, we will be delivering, we have the concept of the member management, the group management, the guarantor management. So if you see, this is a unique product that caters to the microfinance institutions' needs. And also, Temenos as a company, we are spending around 20% of the revenue on the research and development. So best of all the banking practices, or best of all the microfinance practices that is there across the globe gets in as part of the core banking solution. So this enables us to be called, a 70 to 80% fitment is there out of the box. And even in India, we also have something specific for India, which we call the India Stack, which encompasses all the functionalities of catering to the Indian market. And we are a product which can be hosted on cloud as well as on premises. And this product is there, is being implemented across 350 plus clients across the globe, with 3 big MFIs in India running on our Temenos FI. Just to give, that's a background. And these are some of the functionalities that we offer as part of our Temenos FI. So as I said, like, we have an end-to-end member management where we'll be able to do a member onboarding and, the prospect onboarding, and then linking them to a group. All those functionalities are supported. And we also understand that we have to time the market. So when a product is, when we wanted to launch a product, it has to be launched on time. So we understand this, and for this purpose, we have a product wizard whereby you will be able to create the product, with just yes/no questions, and you will be able to create a product. And of course, right now we do not have this functionality in India, but in other places of the globe, like the Africa and other places, we have the ability to create a current account, and we have the ability to create a savings account. And for that savings account, usually the MFIs over there give dividend to encourage savings among the lower rung of the people. So we have those kind of unique products where you can create dividends, so that you can give dividends so that you can encourage people to save more, and based on the savings practices, you will be able to give a better rate of interest for the product, better, unique type of repayments can be planned. So all those things are completely configurable as part of our system. And apart from that, we also have we are a completely loan management system. So once the loan is getting created in the origination system, it seamlessly gets into the management system, whereby end-to-end accounting, end-to-end servicing, everything will be taken care. And our product, it is not only used only for loan management system, but we can also use it as a complete integrated GL system for all the entire banking business. So that is one of the unique features. And apart from that, we also have reporting and analytics, and we have the RBI mandated regulatory reports are available out of the box. And apart from that, we are also CGAP compliant, so whereby all the CGAP related reports are also readily available as part of the system. And then we have a payments processing system, and then, the secured limit, unsecured limit, all those aspects are also available as part of the system. So when I talk about the Temenos FI product as such, it is not only for the microfinance institution. So tomorrow the institution is willing to, upgrade itself, or they wanted to give a non-MFI related loan. So that is also catered through with our system. And along with that, we also have the accelerator system, whereby you will be able to, perform transactions related to, say, for example, there is a treasury transaction or any other line where the MFI is allowed to, perform the business, you will be able to do that. So these are some of the aspects of our FI system. And apart from that, so we started with LOS, and then we have LMS, and from there we also have the accounting, and then the collections are also there. So end-to-end collections and advanced collection module till the recovery is also there as part of our Temenos system. Yeah, and then we have like, so just a conclusion is that, our system caters to all the challenges that the microfinance is facing, whether it could be in the form of business operations, business requirements, or technology requirements, or anything related to reporting. So for everything, we have a solution, and that is what has been, displayed here. So you can feel free to visit our booth. We have a booth outside, and if you wanted to know more, you can always come and we can have a chat and we can take it forward. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you everyone for your patience. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gayatri, for a very insightful presentation. Now we jump into the next breakaway session. Like this session, as I said, would explore the evolving digital microfinance landscape and the crucial enablers, including policy frameworks, fintech collaboration, and inclusive product designs that can ensure equitable, secure, and sustainable financial inclusion for the India's underserved population in the next decade. Now, over to the moderator for the discussion.
Thank you very much, Sa-Dhan team. This is fascinating, I think. And Gayatri, thank you for that wonderful orientation. Given this session is on digital inclusion, digital transformation, having a base with your core banking system, with your financial systems, is really what takes you towards the next journey of digital transformation. So that was a good orientation you gave us. I think we are running a little short of time, so I will try to be concise here. We will do a quick round of introduction, and then we'll straight away jump into the conversation. And again, as I said, thank you to the Sa-Dhan team for curating this session and bringing really the eminent speakers from the industry who can add the value to this conversations on the digital transformation. Quick 2 words about me. I'm Abhishek Agrawal. I'm based out of Mumbai, India. I am part of ACCION. ACCION has launched its initiative as ACCION Digital Transformation Fund. What do we do? While ACCION has been in this space for last 65 plus years or so, investing in financial services companies, but specifically from this initiative, what we are doing, we are investing large amount of capital in financial services companies and helping them on their digital transformation journey. So we put our money where our mouth is so that we can be together with you in your digital transformation journey. So far, we have done good investments in India, roughly 40 plus investments in India across in the fintech and traditional financial services space. With that round of introduction, what I would ask my panelists to go for a quick round of introduction from each one of them, where you can cover about yourself, about your organization, what you do, and then we will start the conversation on digital transformation. Starting with you, Paul.
Thanks, Abhishek.
Just press the button and then it should work.
Thank you, Abhishek. Am I audible? Yeah, am I audible now? Okay, thanks, Abhishek, for the introduction. Myself, Dr. Roy Varghese. I am representing Ashok Microfinance. All of you know that Ashok Microfinance is a company based out of South India for the last, have the legacy of almost 2 decades. And we have almost operations in 23 states in across country. And we are majorly operating in microfinance segment and certain portfolio of gold loan also as part of our AUM. We have 15,000 people across the country. We are operating through around 1,700 branches. And we are promoted by the Manappuram Group is our promoters. That's all about my company. And we are totally a digital lending platform driven company. I'll come back to that maybe at a later stage on the time of the discussion. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rahul Gupta. I represent Avanti Finance, which is a financial inclusion platform designed to serve the low-income households across the country at population scale. We operate on the principles of a model which is called paperless, presence-less, cashless. We've not achieved 100% in all of that, but that's our North Star. We launched our business about 6 years back, about a year before COVID set in. We have lent to 1.1 million or 11 lakh low-income households in the microfinance segment. Our customers are in about 22,000 locations across the country. We are present in about 40% of India's districts. We have lent in 26 out of 29 states. We don't have physical branches of our own, just a few really to keep on-ground presence. But largely we operate out of a loan service provider stroke BC network, where many of our partners, which are other MFIs, AgTech players, etc., they're present in this conference as well. And we do both on and off balance sheet lending. The latter is done in partnership with other large balance sheet providers via different co-lending programs. I'm based out of Bangalore.
Very good afternoon to everybody. It's my pleasure to be here with all of you and my distinguished fellow panelists. My name is Rakesh Dosi. I am the Chief Business and Product Officer for Protean. At Protean, we leverage technology to serve the billions. Build for billions and serve the billions. Today, nearly 50 crores of Indian citizens' life we would have touched in one way or the other. Right from your time of growing up to your education to your employment or businesses that you do, there's a high possibility of 60 to 70% of you who would have touched our systems. And we are very, very well known to build the digital rails and digital public infrastructure for the country. Right from your PAN systems to taxation systems to social security systems to agri systems to setting up DPI recently in insurance, creating foundational ID. In these spaces, we do a lot of work, and we've been doing this for nearly 3 decades. Impacting on an yearly basis nearly 30 billion transactions on our platforms, which engages right from onboarding systems to secure transacting systems to new areas like consent management, to cloud security, and various technologies. So these are the elements on which we work. And I'm sure during the interactions, we'll be able to share a lot of things that we believe we would do. And our moonshot is that while today we are serving 50 crores, we should be able to serve every Indian possible, in every possible way. Thank you.
Check. Yeah. Good afternoon. Am I audible? Yeah. So, good afternoon. I am Nalini, Venkat. I represent Digit Insurance. Digit Insurance is one of the youngest and fastest growing insurance group in India. When I say insurance group, we are the only company who have a general insurance company, a life insurance company, and also India's first private reinsurance company. So, as part of Digit, I'm happy to be participating in this event at Sa-Dhan because financial inclusion is very close to our hearts. When we started Digit, we thought that we are a very digital company. So, most of our customers would be coming from top tier, metro cities and, upwardly mobile Indians who are very, who are digitally engaged. But as we started our business and considering that we are a digital company, over a period of time we realized 2/3 of our business is coming from tier 2, tier 3 cities. We feel that digitization is an opportunity to reach out to the hinterlands and get them on board and give them services which was not available if not for digitization. So we work very closely with a lot of microfinance companies who are members of Sa-Dhan, and our vision is to ensure that we are able to give protection to lives and assets of millions of Indians who have been who have been serviced by microfinance companies today, and we would be able to leverage the infrastructure network of microfinance companies to bring about protection for millions of Indians in the rural and semi-urban segments. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. This is Anant Deshpande. I am based in Gurgaon, and I have been operating as a fintech entrepreneur for about 10 years. Before that, about 8 years of rich experience of building AI and ML models in the pharmaceutical and financial services industries. I'm deeply passionate about building tools that can help achieve financial inclusion. I have special interest in building risk management models, credit models. And before founding FinBox, I've built credit origination models for consumer finance that has scaled from a few hundred applications per month to 1 million applications per month. I co-founded FinBox in 2017, and FinBox is a B2B software as a service startup. We've recently raised our Series B, supported by Westbridge Capital and A91 Partners, along with Arali Venture Partners, Flipkart Ventures, and Aditya Birla Ventures. At FinBox, we build lending digitization software and credit intelligence. Loan origination systems, lending bridges between lenders and loan service providers. We serve about 100 large and small NBFCs, loan marketplaces, super apps, and now banks. We are present majorly in India, but we've recently also expanded into Southeast Asian region, namely Vietnam and Philippines. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Anant, Nalini, Rakesh, Rahul, and Paul for that wonderful, concise introduction. And as we all know that microfinance has contributed over the last 3-4 decades so much from a social impact, from a commercial impact, but there is no doubt over last couple of years, industry has been struggling a lot. And particularly, I think if we take a retrospect while we talk about the digital inclusion, and as you see what Sa-Dhan team has been able to co-create, curate this session with all the digital experts who have been leading their practices in their respective organizations from a digital lens. I hope in next 30-40 minutes, I will be able to churn this conversation and bring some meaningful context for all of you. India has been on a remarkable journey. We have seen significant growth on the digital penetration side. There is a stack. We heard from Gayatri earlier on the India stack side, on the financial inclusion side, things are being there. But it's still the microfinance customers and the microfinance industry in general is still shying from the digital inclusion and digital transformation. And there are two challenges. One is really the customer side of it, and second is really the institution side of it. At times, it's the institution's ability and willingness, and at times, it's really about the rural customer who we think might not be able to really come on that digital transformation or that digital journey or not. I think as we get into it, and it was a great introduction to hear from all of you, but Paul, maybe I would like to call upon you because you did not really touch upon what the digital inclusion really mean for you and for your customers, if you can touch upon that, Roy.
First of all,
Yes, it's working now.
it's working now. First of all, digital inclusion is not just distributing credit to a microfinance customer, as per my understanding. It is all about how my customer can have the ability to transact through the digital channel safely, transparently, and confidentially to get his things done with the digital tools available. That is all about my understanding digitalization. So for that purpose, what all primarily we need is definitely the accessibility to the digital platform, which will help each and every customer in the rural or semi-urban or in the poor customer to access the digital platforms for their purpose, and how transparently they can manage that, and how they will be get educated with the transaction which can be happen through the digitalization, and how they will be empowered with the tools and techniques and the solutions which we are providing for them to get the things done, and how confidently they can see that it will not affect it will not create any fraud, it will not destroy my integrity, or it will not affect me anyway in any of the transactions which I am doing through a microfinance company or micro lending institutions. That is what I understand from my digital transformation journey. So for me, as far as Ashirwad is concerned, we are doing end-to-end digitalization in our entire journey from a customer onboarding to the loan disbursement. We are doing it through the onboarding through eKYC, and we have our own API connectivity with the CICs and various other intermediaries, and we have the rule engines for decision making, and we have the paperless module because e-sign for getting the documentation of the customer, and even do that for the cashless transaction of the disbursement to their bank account. The digital journey is where we are presently in. But in between, having said that, I don't believe in that 100% digitalization will be the right way to a microfinance customer or microfinance business. So I'll come back to that maybe at a later stage.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, Mr. Roy. I think Mr. Roy does not believe in 100% digitization, whereas we have GoDigit, or the Digit Insurance, which is only a digital company, or we have FinBox, which provides the digital solutions only. My question to you, Rahul, on this, I think Mr. Roy touched upon the transparency, the relevance, awareness. So when you look at your customer segment, which is really digital illiterate, I hate to call it financial literate because they are really financially savvy in their decision making. But when you are saying this low digital literacy, how do you really structure the products? How do you design things for them so that you can take your products, your services out for the microfinance customers, given you are a 100% digital institution? How do you see this from a UI, UX, various languages? How do you look towards it?
Yeah, so coming back to your first question, what does digital financial inclusion mean to us? The one-line answer is, it's when you can extend formal financial services in a frictionless way to our users, bringing the cost to be more affordable and in a manner that is very dignified for them. So I think, and the digital tools is the spine behind making that happen. Coming back to your other question, Abhishek, just quick experience sharing. So for our customer segment, a direct-to-consumer digital model where they can interact directly with an app, it's a little ahead of its time just now. So there is a phygital interface, definitely. So what we do have is that we have originating partners across the country, and these are entities which our users trust to go to them, and it is on a standard Avanti mobile application that the agents of our partners onboard customers in a very seamless 15-20 minute process where they're onboarded, and after that we can pretty much take a decision on the credit there and then. So it is somewhat of a phygital model. We've built an end-to-end technology stack in-house, which is LOS, LMS, collection systems, etc. But there is a physical interaction which happens at the borrowers, because at this stage, the customers we are targeting, even if they have smartphones, they may not have the digital financial confidence to apply directly. So that human interface is important. What we have though built in a fairly sophisticated manner, and that is where we think the industry will trend to going forward, is one, the ability to underwrite customers individually. And we know that in our segment, a large sector of our customers or large cohorts of our customers are data dark. So we've built our, now we have done individual level underwriting to almost 11 lakh borrowers. So we have a fair amount of data. So we have our automated credit underwriting, which almost 85% of the credit decision happens at first pass. We don't want to be very quick in saying no. So for the rest 15%, there is an opportunity which is given to our partners to provide more mitigating factors before we decide that the customer may be thin file, their credit history may be tarnished previously because of some genuine circumstance, and therefore we should not financially exclude them just based on a model. So those mitigating factors are are of course evaluated. And then what we've done through our technology stack is that we have built a lot of flexibility to do product development on the fly. Now, in an environment where we are already seeing a shift away from the JLG models, as customers have experience of borrowing from microfinance, have built their own credit history, they have unique needs, they don't want to be straitjacketed with a group, etc. So we built, our technology allows offering products which are fit for purpose for different livelihood streams. So whether it is from a repayment, so if it is a livelihood where logically the repayment should be fortnightly and the tenor should be 18 months and there should be a moratorium of 2 months, we can do that. If it's a daily repayment, we can do that. If it's somewhere in between or if it's a bullet repayment, you know, our stack kind of takes care of all of that. That we found is very, very useful, because what you're then doing is you're not force-fitting customers to what you can offer them. Rather, the technology is allowing you to offer them credit linked to livelihoods, which is linked to their income streams, and that also normally ensures better stickiness with the customer and better credit worthiness as well. From one of the, as we also grapple through the challenges of the last 1 year and the people-related challenges, the collection-related challenges, I think digital collections is something that we all talk about a lot. It's easier said than done, but about 40% of our customers now do pay us digitally. And the idea is that if only a small percentage of your customers don't repay back on time, then should the effort on collections really be made to all 100%? So our North Star is that sometime in the not very distant future, all customers, or at least a significant majority of customers, will also repay digitally.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, Rahul. I think what you are hitting upon in terms of flexibility rather than having rigidity into the systems, and then using these with the dignity, I think what allows you to offer some of these flexibilities to your customer, ability to innovate, and your 40% digital collections is a great example. I think we keep on hearing in the industry that these numbers are picking from the north of 40 to 50. And as this will continue to pick up, there is going to be the drivers which are changing the narrative. But given we all are dealing into the low income segment, my question really to you, Nalini, is, I think you started your business model as a digital insurance, completely digital. If you can throw the light how, whereas Rahul talked about phygital model, little bit is still ahead of the time. How are you finding from your perspective on the digital insurance side, and if you can also link for low income customer segment, how your partnerships on this model have worked out, especially given you are completely digital?
Yes. Thank you, Abhishek. When we started digital insurance, as I told you, we were thinking that our target market is the metros and upwardly mobile Indians who are, digitally aware, who are doing financial transactions through apps. But as we realized that, there is a great need of products which are low ticket size, which can be provided at the doorstep where there is instant gratification. So when we started the company, let's say 8 years ago, we realized that the policy issuance was quite decentralized. So the agent used to go and pick up the proposal, give them a quote and get the check to the nearest branch where the policy would be punched in and the policy copy was given to the customer. What we did was that we said, why can't we empower the agent through an app where agent is able to do everything on his own, what can be done in the branch. So he would be able to give a quote to the customer, he will be able to issue the policy on the spot, he would be able to collect premium and give him a premium receipt on the spot. So I think that helped a lot of agents to move to digit because they realized I don't have to travel to my nearest town to get my work done, I can get it done on my app. So if you have a smartphone and a 3G network, you're as good as a insurance company's branch. So that helped us to give a lot of empowerment to our distributors. But this was very limited. So what we did is we started partnering with companies like Paytm, PhonePe, who have a network of merchants across India where we were able to give them shopkeeper insurance. The ticket size was 1,200 rupees. The pitch was at 100 rupees per month. So what we did was, one, we palletized the premium where the lower income groups or the rural people, they'll be able to afford insurance. And that is possible only through digitization, because if you are asking an agent to distribute a product and if he is going to get even 20% commission, a 200 rupees is not a motivator for him to sell an insurance. So what we did, we digitized the products. We told them that the ticket size is palatable and you rake in more numbers. As you get in more numbers, you will get more commission. So that helped us to build a model where we were able to cover almost 5 crore shops across India through our digital partners. We worked with microfinance companies because today even in rural sectors people use two-wheelers, but those two-wheelers were uninsured. But can we insure them through the network of financial inclusion, through the network of microfinance companies? That is something which we worked on, and today we work with a lot of microfinance companies where we give loan attachment business and also do cross-sell. HospiCash is another product where we cross-sell along with the loan insurance, life insurance policy which is protecting the loan. In addition to that, we do a cross-sell of HospiCash. There we collect cash and the policy is issued through our portal on real-time basis. So I think we use technology to palletize the premium, to give instant gratification to the customer and give them simple products which are easy to understand and quick to make a decision to buy.
Well, thank you very much, Nalini. That was wonderful insight from a digital side of it and covering low income to middle income as well as high income customer segments on the various product sides. My question to you, Rakesh, given as a Protean, you play a big role as an enabler on the digital KYC, enabling them on the various fronts. How do you find these partnerships to be attractive for you, given these are all microfinance, not very rewarding, not very paying? Do you find these partnerships, one, to be really commercial viable from your perspective? Second on that, what do you keep in mind as you look for these partnerships? And if you have any examples to share with us, that what you would avoid or what you would look for, so that our microfinance practitioners can get to see as they approach you as a Protean to be enabled on these digital inclusion side.
Thanks, Abhishek. That's a very interesting question. Let me first answer the first part of the question that you had asked. What does digital inclusion mean to us? And I'll link this question to that. Digital inclusion to us does not mean solely technology. It's a technology leverage, but the net and end result should be benefiting the citizens, working closely with the government in terms of policy making, in terms of enabling frameworks and platforms, and finally the businesses, the B2B, corporates, MSMEs, all of them, to ensure that whatever this digital rails that we as a country have built are to optimum use. And today, this digital rails that we have created, and this is basically from a financial inclusion, digital inclusion perspective, we are also called upon by other countries to show what we have built for India at this scale, and they are wanting to leverage this. And therefore, this partnerships come into a very strong play because this is an ecosystem. The answer to his question lies in the ecosystem play. We build very strong ecosystems. Some of the examples, we've also worked very strongly on the e-commerce part of it, which is an open e-commerce. So we work very closely with ONDC. We have built the entire gateways, registries for them, and also the entire network participant businesses, as we call it. It's more of an e-commerce based MSMEs who come on that platform. Now, this is a very deep partnership that we have created, and this we have also worked with partners like NPCI, Bharat, BBPS, which created a triangulation of a solution which will help do the reconciliation and settlement part of the payment as well. And therefore bring elements back to the users, to the institutions. So this is one part of it. The other part of partnerships that we do very strongly is with a lot of government functionaries and the departments in terms of what they wish to achieve from a citizen-centric perspective and what benefits they want to bring to the citizens. Very simple examples of this from a segment which is different, but obviously would have interest for microfinance organizations as well, which is small-sized loans from an education perspective. So we've created an ecosystem where we believe that there's a lot of fallout for the students beyond a certain stage who are interestingly intelligent people and students who aspire to grow in life. But because of non-availability of finance, they get stuck. So here we create a complete ecosystem where enterprises come together, not just the public sector units, but also the private organization who create this fund acknowledgement and then loaning that can happen from microfinance part also. So these are two large examples, and there are many to give in terms of the large scale builds that we are doing. So partnerships today also mean creating ecosystem. So we are very strong player in the sovereign ID part of the business, which essentially means that anybody that you would be onboarding as a customer on digital rails, we can help enable that in a way where the environment today in India as a country, we cannot have 100% digital. So we also have 1 million+ network assisted digital partners who help these customers in a way where the onboarding journey is easy. They, through their environments, could onboard the customers on the fly. So something that would have been taking on a paper-based model around 10 to 12 days, we can do this instantly. Not only that, for somebody who's taking a loan and has agreements to sign, the signing of the agreement using Aadhaar-based eKYC could be done there itself. Even the wet paper signing could be eliminated and the stamp paper could be put into the same framework, and within a 2-minute journey, you can have all these elements done. So today from if you really go to rural side of it where paper-based approaches today can create those friction points, these processes can get leveraged, and there are multiple partners that we work in this entire ecosystem.
No, thank you very much, Rakesh. I think this is wonderful. But what I'm hearing from you, you are an ecosystem player. And Sa-Dhan has small microfinance institution. They are in large numbers. So maybe there is a mental note to be made, and Rahul, given you are the board member of Sa-Dhan, I think at some point in time it needs to be explored how Protean, given their ecosystem play, and Sa-Dhan can together work towards creating this digital enablement for these smaller institutions if they can be able to play the ecosystem player. I'm not aware of if that exercise is already ongoing, but if it is not, I think for these smaller institutions which are playing in the AUM of 50 crore, 100 crore, 200 crore, I think it becomes very, very difficult for them to start looking at these digital enabled KYC verifications, onboarding, or as you rightly said, those e-signing of contracts and agreements basis Aadhaar and other stuff. So I think, and it's true.
Well, very interesting. I'll just take one more point.
Please.
To take from what Rahul just said. So, and in fact, she also touched upon it. These low size ticket items today, we nearly serve from the social security, which is a pension system perspective, which is in the Atal Pension Yojana. The people who are taking these pensions, they are in the ticket items of 1,000 rupees. And we are serving 100% of the Atal Pension Yojana in the country with around 2.5 crores of citizens onboarded into this. And this we have achieved through the things that I was mentioning. One is an ecosystem play. In this ecosystem, we have the banks also coming into this ecosystem play. We also are the record-keeping agency from that perspective. And then there are the tech platforms that get built, which also have inclusivity of the new techs that are coming in. A very simple example, making vernacular easy for people there to talk in any language, understand that and deliver them in the way what they want with an integrated approach.
No, thank you very much. Thank you. So quick question for you, Anant, given that you are a SaaS player, you provide the software to the financial services players. Do you have a plug and play stack model, or if you could design a plug and play, thinking about, as I just mentioned, we have a small microfinance players. How would you really help them out? Because they want to go digital tomorrow. After hearing our session, everybody is going to go roar and say, let's be digital. But do you have this ready? And what are the 3-4 components which you would like to suggest that they must have if they want to go digital from your perspective?
Yeah, so just for everyone's context, whatever I say would be, or I would come from a voice of technology in lending. We are, as a startup, we've worked with consumer lending, MSME lending, not in microfinance space, and that non-microfinance space has been digitizing quite rapidly over the past 8 to 10 years or so. It has leveraged the DPI, or digital public infrastructure, aggressively and rapidly so, to really transform lending from a cumbersome, difficult, unknown process from a borrower point of view to a very accessible, quick, in the moment, to be leveraged service. And mind you, that journey hasn't been short as well. But I think today what we're talking about, when you said digital inclusion, right? So inclusion is the core part of this, two-word term. And microfinance institutions are the most important vehicle for bringing inclusion to Indians. Why we're talking about digital or adding digital to it is that we want to go to the next level of financial inclusion, right? And when we're talking about this, we are also facing a bit of a headwind in the microfinance institution. So I think while I am new to this space, my understanding is that the experts in this space are clear that if microfinance has to march forward at the same pace or even an increased pace, it needs to adopt digital the way it has not done previously, which is let's say moving towards total digital rather than helped by digital, which probably from a scale of helped by digital, powered by digital, assisted by digital, to digital native. I think digital native is the target that microfinance institutions have. I've looked at a few videos to learn more about where microfinance stands. I think close to 5 lakh crores of AUM is what I heard about. 10 crore households actually already served, and I also heard that about 75 to 80% of the borrowers are now actively using smartphones. Rahul mentioned 40% of the repayments are happening digitally. So that's a large number. When we look at 75% having access to smartphones, 40% already paying digitally. I think I would like an implication that the broader forum understand is that microfinance is really ready for a leap forward on becoming fully digital. At least a significant share of those borrowers. So I think it's probably time to think of how we can get the journeys of the borrowers to be fully digital, not reliant on this phygital model. When I say reliant, meaning reliant for 100% of the borrowing, right? So there will still be like a 20-25% share of borrowers who would require who are not even using smartphones, apps, UPI. So they will continue to require a lot of assistance to first, bring them to a, digital literacy level or financial literacy level that only a human intervention can provide. But I think there is certainly a 50% borrower pool that's ready for a fully digital onboarding, fully digital servicing journey, fully digital, this repayment cycle and getting access to subsequent larger ticket size loans. To that effect, I think FinBox has built a software as a service stack that plugs and plays into an existing lending stack for a typical NBFC or a small finance bank or a bank that gets integrated within, let's say, a 3 to 6 week period and creates a lending operation that hitherto required 4 hours to 4 days of time to originate a loan, and now it happens within 40 seconds to 4 minutes. So we have loan origination systems that do that. We have automated credit decision systems that do that. We have API stacks that connect to your borrower pool that is on some other app, perhaps. Maybe it's on Digit app, right? And, as a lender, you want to originate loans to customers of Digit. So we have a stack that can source leads and process these leads in real time so that you as a lender can offer, 40,000, 50,000 or even, a couple of lakh rupees worth of loans in a minute or less. So these products already exist. I think we need to figure out how do they sit in the current ecosystem of the microfinance stack.
No, thank you very much, Anant, for that candid answer and your experience in the individual and MSME segment. I think what is really pertinent is from his experience on the individual and MSME lending side, that a loan processing from 4 days can really be cut down to the real time as you have the data visibility and others. I think we need to look at it, what are the real practices which we can see from group lending perspectives, and given we all know that group lending is not going to be the future, we need to start looking at it how individually we can, with more and more digital element, with more and more underwritings, with more and more cash flows basis, we can start to have individual identities being established into the systems. Again, I think I would appreciate if we can be quick and succinct in our answers. So quick questions for you, Nalini. I think given you mentioned you are completely digital, we as a microfinance industry, Rahul already mentioned his collections are around 40%, working towards taking it to higher number, which means we are still dealing in cash. You being completely digital, how are you handling this cash last mile connectivity? How are you collecting your premiums, reimbursement of claims? We can understand it's all going to the bank account.
Yeah.
Share quick thoughts over there. Is it the agent network or how do you handle the cash?
So, so cash is something which we cannot wish away even if we want to. While adoption of UPI has increased and we see that people find it very easy, the ease of transaction is there. So we see more and more people using UPI. But we do have cash collections. So we do it in two ways. One is that there is a risk element with cash collection because you're collecting cash and then you're issuing a policy on a later date. That is what we need to solve for. We don't need to solve for why the customer is not using UPI. The UPI system will take over at its own pace. That is not for me to solve. It's the entire ecosystem to solve for. So what we want to do is that if somebody is collecting a premium on behalf of Digit, is he able to issue a policy and a premium receipt on the spot so that the customer gets, Digit knows that this particular money has been collected, it has been accounted for at our place. So that is the first thing we did. We said that the person, whether it is our agent or it is our partner, so we partner with banks, NBFCs, microfinance companies, if their employees are collecting cash, is there a way we can account it in Digit system on real-time basis? So I think we have been able to achieve that with our app or with our portal. As soon as the money gets collected, he is able to issue a policy or a premium receipt on the spot because we have a straight through processes. If it is not a straight through process, then premium is not collected. So that problem is solved. Now the money has to reach me. So each of the person who has collected this money, we have a system. We work with a couple of banks and financial inclusions companies. He can go to the nearest bank and he will be able to deposit the money on real-time basis. It took a little bit of time. So we worked with ICICI Bank, Axis and HDFC to create a software where we will be able to, the money collected can directly go into the customer's account and thereby the reconciliation is done on real-time basis. So we had to work with banks to ensure that we have collection centers at every 50 kilometers or 75 kilometers, and we have a tech infrastructure to ensure this is auto-reconciled. Otherwise, with the number of transactions we are doing, this will become overwhelming for us, and reconciling this whole transactions will become an issue. So we took the help of our banking partners to ensure we solve this problem.
Thank you very much, Nalini. And before I come to Mr. Roy, Rahul, question for you is, given you talked about the digital approach, digital data, and we all hear that data is the oil. How has this data collection at your end has helped you in underwriting? Has it helped you in cutting down any cost? Any specific examples if you have on your client segments that could be helpful for all of us?
So I think firstly is the discipline of what you collect. So it starts from there. So you have to have a very clear roadmap or the data that you're collecting, what is it going to solve for, and collect that and collect no more or no less kind of thing. Where it has clearly helped us internally and to the users is, once we have the digital financial footprint of the users, and in our case, we link it to geography, we link it to different livelihood streams, we link it to the origination partners, patterns clearly emerge. And that allows you to offer products that are more and more fit for purpose to those users, because you have a clear trend line saying, if it is a product which is to be used for dairy livelihood or another agri-allied form, or a small entrepreneur which needs working capital, what the data clearly shows you in terms of tenor, in terms of pricing, in terms of loan quantums, what are the most optimum sort of things to do so you reduce your risk. Two is you reduce your, over a period of time, if you're reducing your credit cost, and I'm not taking the last 1 year, let's treat that as a bit of an aberration, then that's a direct benefit to the customer as well as it gives you some more ability to make, sustainable profits. The other point that it helps clearly is in terms of a faster turnaround to the user. See, when customers may take a fair amount of time to decide that they want to apply for a loan, etc., but once they do, then it's a question of almost seeking instant gratification. So as I'd mentioned earlier, once a customer is onboarded onto our platform, we can technically, after that process of interview, getting their data on our platform, we can actually say yes or no to 80% of the cases within instantly, right? But the good practice that I would say that happens in microfinance is that there'll always be somebody more senior who at the end of the day will look at all those customers which are onboarded and may use their wisdom and local knowledge to say yes or no. Right? And what we've also found interestingly is that customers are of course very happy if you say yes to them very quickly, but if you say no to them very quickly, they're not happy. They feel you've not even given them a chance. So the reducing the friction in the process, bettering your credit costs, designing products that are fit for purpose, all of that is what we already seeing the benefit. And I'll just end from my side, end with one point, which is, in terms of the ecosystem. So that's a big play that we have today. Nobody can solve it by themselves. So it is the ecosystem. And how can we help smaller? So there are a lot of smaller institutions, as you mentioned, who are RBCs. So when they use my app, they're directly leveraging the infrastructure we have there. So they don't have to build eKYC gateways. They don't have to build sign because they're using our app. They get that advantage directly. The digital systems that we have built, the loan agreements that go in vernacular languages. I think small players like us are then responsible to offering that to others as well. And of course, the gateways and the rails that they build, then that aids. And co-lending, we are one of the early players for co-lending in microfinance, and that's all technology integration and API based as well.
Absolutely. No, if we as India and if we as the microfinance industry cannot leverage all of this given how the stack has really been built, and that's where the ecosystem play starts to come by bringing the all of us players together so that the small community, what we have been servicing out there as the microfinance players for the benefit of the end borrowers and customers who does not have these services available from the large players, I think that can continue to be there. So that's great to hear, Rahul. Quick question for you, Mr. Paul, is I think on the digital collection side versus the physical collection side, how you have seen this playing out at Ashirvad, given back in the day you were a traditional microfinance institution, now you are going more and more digital. What has been your experience on that? And how you really handle these long integration projects whenever small microfinance or any one of us are picking up these payment services integration, BBPS integration, that seems to be nerve-wracking. What has been your experience and what would be your advice over there?
Good question, Abhishek. We have 40 lakhs of customers across 23 states, which I have not mentioned earlier in my answer. So having said that, the complexity of the collections in the field is very high during the pandemic time and even the stress time of microfinance industry, which we are experiencing for the last 1.5 years. So having said that, we are a traditional microfinance company. It is in the existence for almost 18 years. And we were doing all cash and carry collections, which were our team of around 15,000 people on the ground. We are doing the collections manually. They go to the meeting centers in the early morning from 6:30 onwards, get the money back and come and deposit in the bank or through the agencies who collect the money from our side. Well, these were the traditionally we were doing, but for the last maybe couple of months, due to the stress in the industry and even the when the JLG model is getting moving to a transition time and probably it's an individual loan type of an assessment we need to do and the collections we need to do. We thought that it's better to have a digital model for that. So what we do is that Primarily, we are giving the QR codes along with our collection module, which is our person is carrying, and we have mobile app also, which can be installed in the smartphone of the customer. So our field level officers themselves teach the customers how to install the particular mobile app and how to do the collections through the mobile app. And you know that even India is one of the country where the mobile penetration is too high. And as per the data says that around 600 million, 660 million is the mobile penetration in the country, smartphone penetration in the country. And similar to that, around 900 million is the internet connectivity also, and out of that 45% of the connectivity is in rural areas. These are all the aspects which are giving the advantage for us to get into the digital collection of module. And around 45 crores of Jan Dhan accounts are there, which also enables the customer to make their payment through the banking channel, maybe through UPI or through our mobile app or through the QR code and all these things. In addition to that, we have our bot calls and all these things for a delinquent customer base when we want to have a collections. We have AI-enabled bot call system where it can give us a predictive analysis about the customer on their through their voice messages and their modulations and their things like that. The AI can analyze what is the chances of getting the money from a customer on a particular day, or what is the chances of getting the money from a delinquent customer, maybe a PAR customer or an NPA customer or a settlement customer when contacting through the bot calls and all. It is enabled for us to get a PTP definitely based on these bot calls also. There is an enablement of digitalization is there also. So these are the major tools which we use in collections as far as the digitalization is concerned. And other modules like transaction analysis, behavior analysis, all these things also we can do. We are getting into that. Yeah. Probably in the next phase of that, we will be getting into those type of analysis and understanding because collection is a major area where we need to have more digital interventions through the technologies. Because this, when the unsecured banking space or unsecured lending space, we are more of a connect with the customer when we want to get back the money from the customer. That is what I feel. It is easy to give the money, but still I feel that the complete digitalization, as I told in the beginning of the discussion itself, we should have some sort of a connect with the customer. Like earlier we used to do the CGT1, CGT2, GRT type of interactions there in the field. Still I feel that we should continue that with a minimal level of intervention in the field to connect directly with the customer, to ensure that, yes, they are not allowed speaking to the mission, but still we are speaking to exactly the lender people also. That level of comfort also should be there for the customer, for if we find any problem in the future, you can best assure that you come back to the company or come back to the branch of the company to see that the company will just assure meet my complaints and it is addressed, and I have some touch point for that. So this is where I still batting for a digital type of just travel was telling. Definitely I am a fan of digital rather than digital. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Paul. He has still not shared his secret sauce of how he transformed for his cash collections to some digital collections, but that is some tip for you. Maybe you should continue to have the conversations with him over tea or coffee break. But given we are running out of time and I have still my list of questions for them, I would like to go to the audience and take 2 questions if you have. Otherwise, I can continue with mine for some more time. 2 questions. Do we have anyone? Any show of hands? Sure. Go ahead. Anyone else? I will take 2. Okay, so we have 1. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for the great session. One of the great difficulties that that we are facing in microfinance credit assessment is the household income validation. So just want to check how the top institutions are doing the household income assessments. the problem is like we cannot just go with the customer declared income. So what we are from M2P side, what we are trying to do is like we are trying to cross validate with the declared income from the CB, from the credit bureaus. We are taking that. So is there any other way that you are considering, or is anyone working on to ensure that the household income validation is perfect? Of course, it's difficult, but is there any way progress in that is what I just want to understand. Thank you.
Should I take
Yes.
that?
Sorry. Good question. So, a couple of years back when the space was liberalized and RBI introduced the norm of looking at leverage at a household level. So one is of course using the bureau data of not just the applicant, but of the household. But over a period of time, starting from there, we've actually internally built quite a few imputation models based on both the self-declared data and some other validations that we do based on the customer's cash flow, assets that they have, and looking at some of their other liability profile we've built. It's not perfect, but it gets better as you have more and more data and as you validate it more and more. So those, and we'll be happy to share some of those things that we have done.
So let me add to that. The way we've been doing this as a modeling for microfinance industry as well. So we are an account aggregator as well. So with being an account aggregator, we are able to create, of course, with the consent. It follows the complete DPDP Act. So on a consent-based module, within the household, what's the income that's coming from the bank account? So that's one part of it. Second, this also allows from the insurance side of the process what it does. What today it does not allow is the liability part, the credit, etc. This bundle with the utility-based transactions of the other limits that we do. Apart from this, we support nearly 100 different APIs. GSTN happens to be one of them. So anything from an, if let's say they're organized and unorganized sector, so from an MSME side of businesses, this APIs help figure this to some extent. The working capital elements are brought into that perspective. So there's a framework of nearly 100 APIs with 5 different models that helps solve that problem. Apart from that, like I said, this problem cannot be completely solved through digital methodology itself. We are also working with some of the policymakers in terms of statistical modeling of what surveys, etc., could be embedded into these kind of environments to solve the problem. While we do that, we also help microfinance organizations work on the regulatory part of it. So the regulatory fintech environments, for example, the CKYC part. So we have those platforms also available. So at one side, we are helping you ensure that the digital onboarding to signing to account aggregator framework, which is also that happens. The other side is the reconciliatory frameworks on the collection payments elements and the partnership ecosystem that I talked about. And on the other side is these elements which bring in prominence to what you're looking at while you're releasing loans or lending these kind of household environments. We are in fact working with, I won't name it, but we're working with 2 or 3 microfinance organizations who are wanting to solve that problem to the core. And of course, then thereon it ends with the regulatory reporting part of it. So we have an end-to-end ecosystem available to serve these requirements.
So thank you very much. I know some of us, you still have questions. I see the hands coming up. In fact, I have also my list of questions. But given then the organizers are telling me it's time up and we should leave the seats from here. It has been fascinating. I know the time was a little short given the relevance of the topic, but I hope you all had enjoyed the conversation. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for the eminent speakers here on the table. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists, for such enriching discussions. Now I request Sureka Marandi ma'am, former ED RBI and independent director of Sa-Dhan, to kindly felicitate our speakers. I also request Rupali ma'am, independent director of Sa-Dhan, former MD CEO of Northeast Small Finance Bank, to join us in felicitating these speakers. Mr. Abhishek Agrawal, Managing Partner, ACCION. Yes, ma'am, please. Sorry. Dr. Rai Varghese, CEO, Ashirwad Microfinance. Mr. Rahul Gupta, Director and CEO, Avanti Finance. I also request Ms. Gayatri to kindly join us. Mr. Rakesh Dosi, request Rupali ma'am to kindly felicitate Mr. Rakesh Dosi, Chief Business Officer, Protean eGovernance Technologies. Ms. Nalini Venkat, Chief Business Officer, Digit Insurance. Mr. Anant Deshpande, Co-founder and COO, FinBox. Ms. Gayatri, Senior Solution Consultant, Bhavan Cybertech. Now I request all speakers to kindly come forward for a group photo. Thank you very much, participants. Next session would be at 3:30. We'll assemble in the main hall. Now we'll have a short tea break. Thank you.